Started. So Wednesday boot camp. We got another theme this week. We're spelling out cookie because it's time for lots of cookies in December. So
Sorry,
spelling out
Jazzi, I was
cookie.
trying to find the mute button. I'm good.
um, so we're gonna do 3 rounds today. We're gonna do 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do each movement twice and then move on to the next one and then do that 3 times through. We don't need any equipment. If you'd like to use any weights or anything, feel free to grab that. But I'm gonna be doing everything body weight today. So I'm gonna go ahead real quick with demos and then we'll get right into our circuit. So like I said, we're spelling out cookie. So our first movement here, we're gonna do a bear crawl shoulder tap. So what we're gonna do on our hands and knees here, starting off, we're gonna tuck our toes, we're gonna bring our knees slightly off the ground, and then one hand at a time, we're gonna tap the opposite shoulder. So we wanna keep that core nice and tight, getting some single arm stability. So that's our C. And then for the first O, we're gonna do an overhead squat pulse. So we're not going to come back up. So we're going to have our arms overhead. If you like to hold a dumbbell or anything above your head, feel free. Feet are going to be hip width apart here, bringing our hips down, and we're going to pulse here. So very small, slow movements here, driving through our heel, big toe, little toe. So that's going to be our first O. And then the second O, we're going to be back on the ground. We're going to do a plank, knee to opposite elbow. So screwing our hands into the ground, exhaling, driving our knee up across our body, bringing it to the opposite side. So that's going to be our second O. And then for our K, so it's been a while since we've done these. We're going to do our kneel to squat. So we're going to sit, we're going to be on the ground first on our knees, tall, kneeling. We're going to take one foot and then the other foot and then come back down. So we can alternate our feet here as we come up. But if you notice, I'm not really coming up much higher than the bottom of my squat. So we're going to stay nice and low, alternating our feet. So that's our K. And then for the I, we're going to do inchworms with a push-up. So we're going to have, we're going to stay on one side of our space. We're going to push our hips back, bring our hands to the ground, walk our hands out, and doing our push-up at the bottom, and then walking our feet. So for the push-up, you can always do an eccentric push-up. You can drop down to your hands and knees, or you can just walk your hands out and then your feet if the push-up's just not working for you today. So those are the options there. And then finally, for our E, we're going to do more planks. This time we're going to do our plank knee to our elbow. So same side, elbow for the second one. So exhaling, bringing our knees outside. So that is going to be our whole circuit today. So we're going to go ahead real quick. We're going to do a nice warm up and then we'll get right into it. So for our warm up, we're going to go ahead and come to the top of our space for the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to go ahead and interlace our fingers and we're going to grab onto one knee. We're going to pull our knee towards our chest. Nice big deep belly breath here. And we're going to exhale, step back into our reverse lunge. Back leg is going to stay nice and straight. Hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. We're keeping our back leg nice and straight. We're going to do a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, opening up towards the ceiling. Gazing past our hand, we're looking at our palm. Our thumb is facing our spine. It's going to help us open up our back a little bit more. And we're going to go ahead and exhale, plant our head outside of our front foot, bring our back foot a little bit closer, push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. Nice big deep belly breath. And we're going to exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side when we're ready. So we're going to interlace our fingers, grab onto the other knee, pulling our knee towards our chest. Nice big deep belly breath. And we're going to exhale, stepping back, reverse lunge. Back leg stays nice and straight. Hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Keeping our back leg nice and straight. This is going to open up our hips. We're going to do a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, opening up towards the ceiling. Thumb is facing behind us, looking at our hand here. Looking at our palm, opening up our spine and our neck. And we're gonna go ahead, exhale, plant our hand outside of our front foot. Bring our back foot a little bit closer and push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. Nice big deep breath. And we're gonna go ahead and exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right. Next thing we're gonna do here, we're gonna do a little bit of plank to pike / down dog so we can open up our legs a little bit more and our arms. Get ready for our, we got a lot of planks coming up today. So we can go ahead, get into a plank position, however feels comfortable. And we're gonna go ahead, push our hips up towards the ceiling. We can take a second here, pedal our calves, poke our head between our arms, open up our upper back, and coming back down. We're gonna push ourselves back to pike and a plank. And we're gonna do 2 more, pushing up and back down. And last one, pushing up. And then you can either walk your hands back, or we are gonna start on our hands and knees. So just go ahead gently from our plank, bring our knees to the ground, and we're ready to rock and roll. So starting off, we're doing that bear crawl shoulder tap here. So having our hands and our knees on the ground to start. We're doing 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 2 times per movement before we move to the next one. So we're gonna do the bear crawl, 20 seconds on, 10 off, 20 seconds, 10 off, and then move on to our overhead squat, 20, 10, 20, 10. So that's our format today. I'm gonna get the timer going here. 3, 2, 1, and go. So on our hands and knees, we're screwing our hands into the ground, tuck our toes, push those knees gently, slightly off the ground. It helps if we exhale as we bring one hand at a time. We want to try and keep our core engaged so we're not rocking. 3, 2, 1. All right. We got 10 seconds. We're doing that again, and then we're standing up. 10 seconds are flying by. 3, 2, 1. So same thing. Knees are slightly off the ground. We want to keep them as close to the ground as we can. We're going to feel this one in our shoulders for sure, our core, and our quads. It's a great way to work on our arm stability here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Awesome job. Shake your legs out. We're doing overhead squat pulses. 3, 2, 1. So our arms are above head, feet hip width apart, coming down to the bottom half, driving through our heel, big toe, little toe. We want to keep our core engaged. Our chest is up. If the pulse isn't feeling good, you can always hold at the bottom instead. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we got 10 seconds to do that again. You can also do a wall sit if that also feels more available to you today. 3, 2, 1. So keeping our core engaged. Slow, gentle movements here. We're not moving very far. If you see I'm not fully standing up, I'm staying in the bottom half here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have plank knee to opposite elbow. So getting back on the ground. 3, 2, 1. All right. Screwing our hands into the ground here in our tall plank. Exhaling. Using our core to bring our knee across our body, trying to get our knee as close to the elbow. 3, 2, 1. Really try. If we're moving slow and controlled, I want us to try and really get our knee as close to our elbow as we can. 3, 2, 1. So coming across, really trying to touch each elbow. Great job. Really does help to exhale as we come up. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our kneel to squat. I'm going to face this way. Starting off in a tall kneeling position. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to take one foot. We're going to drive through our heel, big toe, little toe until we're in a squat. We're going to come back down, and then we're going to switch our feet. So again, pushing through our heel, big toe, little toe. This is technically a little bit like a single leg movement. 3, 2, 1. We're fully pushing off of one leg. Right, we're gonna do that again, and then we got inchworms next. 3, 2, 1. So pushing through our whole foot. It's a little bit actually like a step up when you really think about it. Pushing through our whole foot, we want to feel it in our glutes, and our quads. We're staying nice and low. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up we have inchworms with our push up at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. So starting off on whichever side of our space we'd like, walking our hands out. If we're doing it from our knees, I'm for sure doing my knees today. We want to keep our core engaged so we're nice and straight from our head to our shoulders to our hips. 3, 2, 1. Doing 20-10 with inchworms is not going to leave us with a lot, but that's okay. 3, 2, 1. We can always think of this as like our low-key rest movement. And then we really want to try and get our feet as close to our hands as we can, working on our mobility here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, I don't know why I stood up. All right, next up we have plank knee to same side elbow. 3, 2, 1. All right, first step, screw our hands into the ground. That's going to help keep our upper back nice and flat here. Exhaling. The slower and more controlled we move, the more we're going to get out of it. 3, 2, 1. That way we really feel it in our core versus anywhere else. This is mainly a core shoulder movement. We're getting a little bit hip flexor. 3, 2, 1. We will get a little bit of hip flexor strength out of it, but we want to make sure we are using and engaging our core. So if we exhale through our straw, bring our core together, hold it there, and then drive up. 3, 2, 1. All right. Round 1 is done. We got 2 more to go. Starting up on the ground, bear crawl, shoulder taps. 3, 2, 1. All right. So keeping our core engaged. So again, bringing our belly button to our spine and exhaling through our straw, bringing it all together. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna do that again. And then we're moving on to our overhead squat pulses. 3, 2, 1. Right. Really driving the opposite hand into the ground. This one helps too as well if we screw our hands into the ground. We're feeling it in our back. We need to find our neutral spine. So we don't want to be curved this way or this way. We want to find neutral. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have overhead squat pulses. 3, 2, 1. All right, so feet are hip width apart, hands above head, staying in the bottom half of our squat. Again, if this is not really feeling the best, you can always hold the bottom. 3, 2, 1. All right. Doing whatever feels good for us today. 3, 2, 1. I think I need a little bit of some rotation today. Open up my spine a little more. World's greatest isn't just cutting it today. Great job. Keep pulsing or holding. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have plank knee to opposite elbow. 3, 2, 1. All right. Screwing our hands into the ground, coming up and across. So same thing, slow and controlled, really engaging our core here. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're going to do that again. And then we got our kneel to stand. 3, 2, 1. All right. Doing awesome. Definitely got lots of shoulder stuff in here today. I feel like last week we did a little bit more leg stuff. So getting a little bit more upper body in here today. 3, 2, 1. All right. We got kneel to squat. So we're getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So one foot at a time. Driving through, we really want to push through our foot and stand up versus pushing through our foot and our knee. We also want to step to a point where our knee is still coming over our second toe. 3, 2, 1 is just like a squat or a lunge. Same positioning, knee over second toe, chest is forward. 3, 2, 1. So what we're doing is technically a different movement, but it's the same position. So the more we focus on it being the same position, the better off we're to be here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Inchworms with our push-up next. And then 3, 2, 1. Then we'll do our plank, knee to elbow. And then I got one more round. And then we'll cool down, which I'm thinking we're going to do some pretzel today. 3, 2, 1. All right. Got one more of those. Plank, knee to elbow. 3, 2, 1. All right. Walking out. Keeping. I think I've probably said this enough times. So core is engaged. Keeping everything flat. 3, 2, 1. All right. Plank, knee to same side elbow. 3, 2, 1. Screwing the hands into the ground. Slow and controlled. Try and touch each knee to each elbow. 3, 2, 1. Slow and controlled. 20 seconds is 20 seconds, no matter how fast we go. 3, 2, 1. And that's the thing, even for any workout, right? We're not doing reps for this. So yeah, sometimes I want us to push a little harder for certain movements. But if we go faster in this, we might not necessarily be using our core. 3, 2, 1. And that's really what I want us to get out of that one. So nice job, y'all. We got last round coming up. Starting with our bear crawl shoulder taps. 3, 2, 1. So I'm mentally prepared for this right now. All right. Last round, best round. I'm going to finish strong with our workout today. If you're starting to feel it in your traps, reset here. 3, 2, 1. All right. At any point, if you're feeling it where we shouldn't be, just take a second, reset, right back into it since it's really quick. 3, 2, 1. So 20 seconds and 10 seconds. Go by really quick. So we want to make sure if we're taking a break, rest for like 2 to 3 seconds max, right back into it. We're almost there. We're going to be done with this movement here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Done with those for today. Nice job. Those ones are always a little bit killer. So nice job. We got overhead squat pulses. 3, 2, 1. So really important. I can't believe I haven't said this yet. We want to, when we have our arms overhead, we want to squeeze our shoulder blades. So squeeze that orange. So that way our shoulders are away from our ears. So if you're struggling with that, let me know. 3, 2, 1. A lot of that is an overhead mobility issue tied in with the core and all of that. So 3, 2, 1. So we're having any issues, like when you raise your arms above your head, if your ribs flare out or if you have to arch your back without any weight, definitely have a few movements for y'all to practice to work on your overhead mobility if that's an issue for you. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those. We have plank knee to opposite elbow. 3, 2, 1. We're almost there. These are the final few movements today. Keep on setting up and correctly. Again, nice, slow, control. Try and touch your knee to your elbow. 3, 2, 1. All right. I think we need maybe a little bit of some shoulder openers after this workout. Lots of shoulders today. 3, 2, 1. Which I think we all might know this. I do love training shoulders, but I'm pretty sure my shoulders are still sore from Monday for my workout. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those. We're halfway through our last round. We're doing our kneeling to squat here. 3, 2, 1. So again, right knee over our second toe, chest is coming forward. So we have that nice angle. So if you look here on my body, a parallel lines between my shin, my torso, that's what we want to aim for with our pushing, lower body pushes. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we're gonna do the same thing. And then 3, 2, 1. We got inchworms after this. We're in this last 20 seconds of our kneeling to squat. And we got inchworms, then plank knee to same side elbow. And then we're gonna cool down. 3, 2, 1. All right. Done with those. We got inchworms. 3, 2, 1. Walking our hands out. Push up. Walking our feet. Again, trying to get our feet as close to our hands as we can. Finishing strong. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna do that one more time. Then we got last movement. Oh, get lightheaded. 3, 2, 1. All right, walking out. Lots shoulder and core work today. We're gonna be so strong, working on our pillar. Gonna help us with all of our movements. 3, 2, 1. Okay, last movement of today. Coming on up. 3, 2, 1. Bringing our knees to the same side. Slow and controlled. This is the hardest round. Last one, best one. 3, 2, 1. All right. 10 seconds. We're going to do that again. And then we're going to stay on the ground on our hands and knees for our cool down. 3, 2, 1. So screwing our hands in. Finishing strong here. Use our core. This is where we might start to feel it in our hip flexors a little bit more because our core is getting tired. 3, 2, 1. And that is it for today's circuit. So go ahead, grab a sip of water if you need it. And like I said, we're going to be on our hands and knees for our cool down. So we're going to go ahead and do some reach throughs and work on opening up through some rotation and our upper back here. So we're going to take one hand, we're going to reach through in between the opposite arm, opposite hand, Sorry, opposite arm, opposite leg. We're pushing the back of our hand into the ground. We're pulling away with our upper back. We're breathing in through our nose, exhaling, sighing away our tension. We're starting to slow the breath down, let our heart rate calm down, relax into the stretch. And we can go ahead and if you would like to stretch out your chest a little bit more, let's go ahead, take our opposite hand, wrap it all the way up and around our body, tuck it into our opposite side hip. It's gonna open up our chest and our shoulders a little bit more. We're gonna do one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can bring our hands back up underneath our shoulders. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So taking our opposite hand, we're reaching through, pushing the back of our hand into the ground, pulling away with our upper back, getting that nice stretch right underneath our shoulder blades. You might even feel a little bit into your traps and your neck if that is tight for you today. And at this time, if you'd like to, go ahead, take your other hand, wrap it all the way up and around your body, pointing your shoulder up towards the ceiling. Slowing our breath down. And one more breath here. And as we finish our last exhale, we can go ahead and bring our hands back up underneath our shoulders. And then feel free to stay on the ground or returning to a seated, kneeling, or standing position. But that's going to be all the time I have for today's class. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Just as a quick reminder, we do have our 12 Days of Fitness Challenge going on Slack this week and next week. So you can join in with us there. And then again, as another reminder, we will not have any live classes during the weeks of rest. So last Friday will be our last afternoon class. And then if you want to stay up to date with things, you can always check out our YouTube channel to take past recorded classes during the weeks of rest. And if you need extra guidance, feel free to reach out, schedule a consult, and I can help you with your plan. But thank you for coming. Y'all did great. And I'll see y'all